What's going on, my PT peeps and my Walking Dead family? One Eyebrow back from the PT channel to talk about The Walking Dead and do a discussion video about Jadis, the Scavengers, the Heapsters, Whisperers, a lot of good things going on in this discussion about Season 8, well, Season 7, Season 8, maybe into Season 9 as well. But spoiler warning, obviously, if you're not up to date of the show, as of Season 8, Episode 10, I don't want to ruin anything for you because we're going to discuss that episode for sure. We'll be talking about some interesting theories and information for sure. But first, guys, if you can join our Walking Dead family, it's simple. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button, and I really hope you do. Now, Jadis and the Scavengers came into our life in Season 7 and in Season 8. A lot of them were killed. Were all of them killed? Everyone but Jadis is all we can think of. Maybe Jadis has some other areas of them, another group, another part of the facility that wasn't there with Jadis. Now, will she become Alpha? Will she become a Whisper? Will she become something else? We just don't know yet, but I'm kind of interested in the theory, the idea, and the concept of Jadis surviving for a reason. Why was she kept alive? Obviously, the writers have an idea for this character. I can't wait to find out, but what do you think it is? Post your comments below. Now, Jadis and the Scavengers were a waste of time in Season 7, part of Season 8, especially since Rick kept going back to him and they double-crossed him and then tried and then double-crossed. It was just like so annoying to watch. They have a big group though, that's for sure. They have some big guys that could be considered as beta for the Whisper theory connection, so that still could be in play, as I don't remember the big guys getting put into the meat grinder for it. But Rick and the group are connected with the Scavengers. We'll see what happens with Jadis down the road in the second half of Season 8 into Season 9. But at first glance, if you watch Season 7, you watch these Scavengers and Jadis and the way they talk and we take, we don't bother. Well, what did you take here? Initially, you thought it was just a trash dump, a junkyard, a landfill, but what we gathered in Season 8, it might have been more than that. And I wish they hinted at it more than little subtle references and bad CGI and everything. We'll talk about more of that in a second. But clearly they had this weird code, this weird way of talking. They didn't really exert a lot of words and energy for communication. They had whistles and communication to go behind the scenes. Jadis is clearly the leader. She double crosses Rick, and it's pretty crappy. They leave Alexandria at the end of Season 7, and you're like, they need to be taken out. And in Season 8, they were by Simon, the Saviors, and then by Jadis, which was pretty awesome. I have to admit, the meat grinder thing was pretty gross, pretty awesome. It was kind of funny, their interactions at times with, I lay with him after? No? Okay. They were capable fighters somewhat. This girl did put a beat down on Michonne, so they could have taken over the landfill, the dump, a base, an army base, something, because there was a huge amount of them. And if they were a cult, they would do what Jadis says, and maybe they took over something. Winslow, the weaponized walker idea was pretty cool. I didn't like the idea of them just using this one walker. They could have used this in a different way. But if Jadis is connected with the Whispers, they use the walkers as weaponized walkers. Basically, they blend in with them. They said Winslow 1.0, then Winslow 2.0, and then the final Whisperer connection could be Jadis has a whole different idea how to use walkers and blend in with them. So Jadis could very well be the originator of the Whispers. She could be Alpha, she could be a different character altogether. I kind of hope she isn't Alpha. I've been saying that over and over again. I want Alpha to be a different character, but if they do it right, Jadis could be an interesting factor in the Whisper origin. She might not be Alpha, but she could be one of the originators before Alpha or something. I do like the idea of seeing the origin of something from the comic on the show. I like it if it's the Whisperers or something else. That's pretty cool. But Rick going back to the Scavengers lost a lot of people. The way the Scavengers talked was pretty stupid. The way they were just interacting in a trash dump, and it just wasn't the best writing of things, and it really turned a lot of people off of these people. But they clearly used walkers for a reason, and I would like for that to be a connection with the Whispers. I think it would be pretty cool. Now, Jadis was the clear leader of the Scavengers. The Scavengers did everything she said, even to their last breath, and they got taken out by the Saviors. But besides all the weird things, the way they talk and living in a landfill and junkyard or whatever, the way they were too much involved with art and painting and making sculptures, and it was just so weird that they would be doing art and living in a landfill and it was okay, like the world didn't matter. It was just out there too much. But it was an escape from things. Jadis was clearly the leader. Was it a cult? Was it a following? Was it some weird area that Jadis recruited all these people and took over the area? Because when Simon brings up the helipad and the solar panels, there has to be something more to that. He wouldn't just say that line if we're not going to find out about it. Because remember in the bad CGI in season 7, when you're like, is that a bird? Is that a plane? What's flying in the background? That was clearly shown for a reason. The helipad, now we know there were solar panels behind Rick. We'll highlight that in a second. But the helipad is clearly obvious in the left side of the picture when you're looking at Rick. So our left, when you look at the screen, there's the helipad. And behind Rick is supposedly the solar panel, is what I gather, especially since Simon brought it back up, that there's a helipad and solar panels, and what's up with this place? And you see rows and aisles of trash, not it built up like it was around the heaps. Then we see the helicopter when Rick was going to meet the scavengers again. So the helicopter was going the same direction that Rick was moving towards the scavengers. So was it connected? Was it there? You would hear it though land. You would see where it was kind of going. Rick never brought it up, so we didn't really think more of it. But I know a lot of people are thinking it's the Commonwealth or it's this, but it's clearly connected with Jadis and the scavengers. And hopefully we'll find out more, but I just kind of wish they showed a little bit more involvement with the helipad and the solar panels and how they power things. Not just locking Rick up. She walks away, she has Rick's boots on, she took Rick's stuff, and they don't bother. So they probably took over this place. And I really didn't pay attention to the red apron because she was just wearing an apron, so you're like that. But the red, the blue context, Negan wears red, so she was connected with Negan there. So the red and the blue, the conflicting colors going against each other. And we talk about that in the blue paint theory. You see the red from the meat and the blood from the walkers, but you see the blue, the contrast of it. Now we'll see what happens with Jadis. Does she have any people left alive? Her people were clearly capable. They could do a lot of things. They were breaking down cars and building stuff and moving stuff around. So they weren't totally useless. We just don't know much about them. And it's kind of frustrating because we want to know more about all these characters. Simon came in and killed most of them. Did he kill all of them? Hopefully we'll find out in the second part of season 8. I'm excited for it. You know this Simon disobedience and Negan is going to come back to bite him in the butt. But who's going to take him out? Negan, Simon, Jadis, Jadis's group, Jadis's new group, if she gets one. We'll see how it plays out, but it'd be pretty awesome if Jadis is still alive and she does some things in the second half of season 8, not like she just fades away. I want to kind of see that she joined Rick, that she tried, because she's by herself, well, theoretically, and I want to know more about the piles of trash. What are they covering up? Are they covering up a bunch of dead bodies of all the people that were there? Was this a military base? Was it a salvage yard? Was it something more than it was? Because they were leading on with it. And then Jadis didn't really give much out of there until she was talking with Rick. And it was pretty weird how she just stopped talking like the scavengers and that weird tone and the barely speaking and using little words as possible. And then she was forming complete sentences. And then you saw like, wow, she's not this weird person. She is actually a regular person, how she's talking, and not sure what was going on here. So they had to have some weird dynamic and escape from the world where they were totally buying in to this way of life in this new world. And she even says that in the dialogue with Rick. And then Rick's like, nah, she's not useful anymore. So that's going to probably come back around to bite Rick in the butt. And since Jadis didn't die, you know something's going to be big for this character. Why would you just keep her alive? Why didn't Simon just kill her? It doesn't make sense to keep her alive if she's not going to be part of something big or something in the future. Because we're wrapping up season 8 with every episode. We got 6 more episodes left, so we got plenty of time and weeks to find out what happens with Jadis. But what do you think happens to her? Does she come join Rick? Because she can't go to the Saviors, right? I mean, that'd be pretty terrible. She's by herself. She would just get killed or taken prisoner or something bad. But Jadis is left alive. And so we have to think about what would be the most logical reasons why. The Whisperers, joining them or starting them or joining Rick. She could fade away. She could take Simon out. She could attack the Saviors. She could have something up her sleeve. She could have other walkers there. She could have a bunch of Winslows that she lets loose. It would be pretty awesome if she has an epic return, a rebirth, a resurgence, a new storyline, because one of the problem was that she was talking so weird and so annoying, and these people were just, it was just something annoying about them every time we saw them. There was nothing rewarding about these characters. It was frustrating how they talked, and it was just annoying. And now if she's going to change that, maybe she has a wig on. That would be pretty crazy if that haircut was a wig. Because if that was a wig and she was bald underneath, boom, that's definitely alpha. I mean, there's no way around it. Or she shaves her head and becomes alpha that way. So it could be her hair. What's up with the applesauce from Alexandria? What's up with the 3 rings on top of the can? Does it mean anything? Does it mean nothing? I can't wait to find out. But you could see the face here, like she's pissed and she's thinking about something. What is she going to do next? Is she going to attack Rick? What's the plan for Jadis? And what was the point of showing that she still had the applesauce that they stole from Alexandria? I can't wait to find out, guys. Do you think she becomes alpha? Like I said, That would be pretty cool if she had a wig on. And I had someone go by the name of Adam Bryan who came off the idea that she might be wearing a wig on Instagram. He messaged me that, so props to you, Adam. Good idea. I think it's pretty cool. It possibly could be that she is wearing a wig, or she could shave her head. If that happens, then you know that she's becoming alpha. And what if at the very end of season 8, the season 8 finale, you see Jadis in front of the mirror or something and she's shaving her head, or she takes a wig off? That would be pretty awesome, and we have to wait till season 9 to find out. So there we go, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Anyone on Instagram, Facebook, or social media, we are at the Walking Dead Community Facebook page and the group. The PT channel, of course, at the PT channel on Instagram, Facebook. We have Facebook pages for a variety of things, including my Fight For Us book series. 5 books available now. Book 6 is looking to be out next week. Keeper Volume 2 comes out. There's the 5 books available now. Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, Kindle versions. So we got paperback and digital versions available now. Join our team, our family, and our community and become a PT Peep by subscribing. It's easy, guys. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button. We have a goal of 100,000 subscribers. We're doing prizes, giveaways, and quizzes. To be eligible, you got to be a subscriber. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I can't say it enough. What do you think of the Jadis theory and discussion? Post your comments below. And remember, guys, you got to make some left turns before you make a right one.